Okay, last paper here for the class is the PMI paper. This is structured, extremely similarly to the Six Sigma paper that you all completed. On this paper, same sort of thing, just want a basic understanding of the organization, what they do, and how they help to advance the position. Only looking for about 3 pages, again a grade right off the rubric, just like with the prior submission, and provide this YouTube video so that you can have some guidance. I strongly encourage not to plagiarize. It's very easy for us to check that, so please make sure to cite your sources. Alright, same sort of order as the prior paper, same sort of concepts. So the first section, history of PMI. Who started it? What's the organization about? Kind of big picture, what's the organization's goals? When was it formed? Where was it formed? Etc. That's not as important. So for that, I'm only looking for about 3/4 of a page. But you go through that, talking about where the organization was formed, who the founders were, maybe a note or two on each of the founders, and kind of what the organization is. That takes you to the next section, which is a description of each of the process groups and structures. Much like with the Six Sigma paper, this is the most important part and a little bit longer part. This is the part that has some value then for you going forward, is understanding these steps. So the PMBOK process groups and structures, I have noted actually at the bottom of the paper. This is when you're looking at the initiating process group, planning process group, executing process group, monitoring controlling process group, and closing process group. So each one of those should have their own paragraph describing what happens during that process group, what some of the key inputs are, what some of the outputs are, what some of the tools are. Each paragraph, each one of those process groups should have about a paragraph describing that. So that section is going to be the longest section. And that section then would end up being, should be about a page and a half. So you want to have fully fleshed out what each one of those are. That's the process group section. And then the advantages and applicability for PMBOK and PMI. This is just like the prior paper where you were writing on 2 bigger paragraphs. And the bigger paragraphs, the first to the company and then to the individual. So for the company, some of the same similar benefits are applicable here as well. So your benefits are things like repeatable process, because this is a known successful repeatable process. So you can do this, take this approach and the methodology that they describe and use it over and over again for all of your projects. So everyone kind of builds a known cadence, and they know what to expect, and provides for a common language. A lot of the language that's noted in PMI and the PMBOK, all of the people that are familiar with that then would be familiar with the language. So those things help with efficiency and success for projects. You can recruit better for skill because you understand what to look for if you're using this sort of approach. So you know what sort of things people would need to fit well in the organization if you're going to use that. Then the second step, or the second paragraph for that section, is a paragraph on how it benefits the individual. So these are things like certifications, creating career advancement opportunities, networking events, white papers to help further knowledge on the trade, all these sorts of things, all the benefits that you as an individual would get for being associated with PMI. So that's going to be your third section. Timeliness, same as prior. It's not accepted after the due date. In the event you reach out to me in advance and had an issue, this would be where maybe I'd take off a couple points. And writing mechanics, I'm not as concerned as some of your professors are, but we're in a 300 level course, so it's got to be reasonable. Please don't plagiarize. Make sure to include your sources. And you want it written in your words, not just a copy paste from somewhere. So to recap, run right through again. History of PMI. There should be a couple paragraphs on who formed it, and a big picture what the organization's about and what they seek to do. Description of the PMBOK process groups and structure. Would be a paragraph on each of the process groups here. What happens during the process group? What are some of the key inputs, key outputs, key outputs, maybe tools and techniques, etc. Go through each one of those process groups. And then we get to the applicability, and that's going to be two big paragraphs. One on the benefits to the organization, and that's things like repeatable process, being able to recruit for talent that you know fits your structure if you're using that structure, a known benefits for like you have a higher chance of success. I'm sorry, it's a known. And then a big paragraph on what it helps for the individual, and then it's things like certifications, advancement opportunities, networking events, all those sorts of things. So that is the PMI paper. Again, it should sound very, very familiar because the process and structure is extremely similar to the Six Sigma paper. All right, hope that helped. Again, very engaging, so please reach out to me with questions, concerns, etc. Thank you.